you're listening and you hear it as going up to sol, then that's something you want to note. You may not hear what's going on in this measure right here. You may not have gotten that, but if you heard that from here to here was do to sol, then go ahead and write it down. Okay, because again, that's just at least a guidepost for you to kind of do the rest. Okay, and you don't have to always work from left to right. Okay, if you hear that it ended on do, put it there. Okay, and then if you heard this T-do and then a scale, well, go ahead and start from right to left. You don't have to always work in order of the melody. That makes sense? Some people will start here and they'll get hung up and then they won't get anything else finished, even though it was played plenty of times, where if they had just worked backwards a little bit, they would have found where they were getting stuck and solved the problem easily. Okay? So don't be afraid to work backwards. Start in the middle. Whatever you hear, notate it, even if it's not the next note in the scale. Okay? Questions? Anybody have anything completely different they'd like to hear? Good. How about number 2? What key are we in with number 2?
F.
Number 2. 1, 2, 3. One, two, three. Okay, again, we're going to play and then afterwards we'll sing the melody together, just on a random syllable. You could use just la or da or ha or whatever is comfortable for you. So listen and then we'll sing it back. 1, 2, 3. One, two, sing. Okay, right. Now the ultimate goal is that you sing it back in your head without singing it out loud, okay? And once you can do that and you can remember what it is that was played, you don't need it to be played again. If you can hear it one time and sing it back in your head, you can just keep singing it back over and over again.
Can you play it again?
I will play it again, yes. Yes. I'll tell you when it's the last time, okay? We should have a new rule if you ask. Yeah. But yeah, I will play it again and give you plenty of time. So, but eventually we want to get to where we could hear one time, sing it back in our heads, and then anytime we're working, we can just keep referring to the playback feature in our memory. Okay. But until we get to that point, I will play it several times. Okay. 1, 2, 3. How's everybody doing with this one? Good? Everybody's doing okay? Good. Another thing is that after you've sung it back in your head, and you can kind of hear what it sounds like, when we sing it, we use just the neutral syllable just because we're not sure what the notes are. We're just trying to hear the melody. But then in your head, try to sing it to the solfege. Okay? Try to put it, is it just steps? Is it, or does it actually skip? In the singing. So that's one thing you can do. Again, silently. Try to work on doing it in your head. Okay. One more time. Okay, who likes this on the board? Andrew.
I'll just show you how I do it. Dumbly. Then I just kind of try it again.
Okay, good. So let's play it back. Do we agree?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that's fine. That's a fun way to do it. If you can hear the numbers. I'd rather you kind of work, especially if you're having trouble with solfege. I'd rather you work on using solfege. But if you hear numbers and use them, that's fine. And one thing that if you maybe are struggling with solfege, you might want to practice doing it this way, where you hear it and then don't even start writing it first. Try to imagine if you were singing it back, what solfege syllables you would be singing, okay? And if you do that maybe through 2 playings, that helps with the remembering of the melody, and you've already, as we have here, we already have the numbers or the solfege syllables if we're doing that. And a lot of people, they won't write, when they're doing this method, they don't write the full syllables. They'll just put do, ti, la, sol. They'll just put the first syllable, which works, or the first letter, which works as well. Good. A couple of things just to be picky. make sure that the bar lines only go up to the top of the staff and the bottom of the staff, okay? You don't go beyond. So make sure when you're doing your bar lines that they are only up to the top, and they need to be as straight as you can make them, okay? I know we don't have them, and you're not using rulers or anything, but try to be as neat as you can, especially on the test, because if I can't read it, I'm just going to mark it wrong. I'm not going to guess, okay? Also, this isn't a fraction, okay? So, 3 between the middle and top lines, 4 between the middle and bottom lines, okay? And that's not on a line or a space, okay? So again, just be careful with your manuscript, with your writing, okay? It's very important that you convey exactly what you mean to convey and not something else, okay? So just be very careful. The spoons are going in the right direction. Everything else is good.